In today's video, we're making peanut brittle. Let's do it. For this recipe, you'll need sugar, peanuts, corn syrup, butter, baking soda, water, salt, a candy thermometer. This is not a candy thermometer. I would recommend one that actually can go into the mixture. This one just reads like surface temperature, so I would definitely recommend an actual candy thermometer. And a scale, because this recipe that you're going to have today is by weight, and like always, the recipe will be in the description box below. So let's do this. I'm going to start this recipe out by pre-measuring all of my ingredients, because once it gets going, things kind of get going fast, and it's just nice to have everything already ready so that you can just dump it in versus having to go measure something, come back, do all these steps, because you'll be adding things in 4 different stages. So the first things that will be going into this pot will be 28 ounces of sugar and 12 ounces of water. So we'll do that water first. 28 ounces of sugar. And make sure you get all the sugar out of that bowl. So the next thing that we're going to measure out, and we can still use this because it's all going in here, will be our corn syrup. And we actually need 20 ounces of this. And this is the only thing that we're going to put in this mixture, because this is the next step. You'll see. So this goes to the side. And then for this recipe, you need 2 pounds of peanuts, so 32 ounces of raw peanuts. Luckily, this just happens to be 34 ounces. I'm not a stickler when it comes to it, because, whatever, put more nuts in it, whatever. And then we're going to do 2 ounces of butter. This recipe also calls for vanilla. I don't have vanilla right now, so it's just gonna be without. So we'll do our 2 ounces of butter. And in the same bowl with the butter, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And baking soda is really the key ingredient in this, because it's what gives the peanut brittle like a little bit of that poppy like fluff. We'll call it fluff. So I'm just gonna do about 2 teaspoons. Perfect, and now we can get started. Our first step for this is just the sugar and water in a pan. We're going to turn it on high heat, and we're going to stir it. So this part right here, you want to make sure that you're stirring your sugar and water, and we're going to bring it to a boil. So when this gets to a boil, I'll come back and chat with you guys in just a second. I'm also going to just go ahead and put all of my ingredients in a line as they go in. So while I'm waiting for my sugar and water to heat up, I'm going to take just a second to prep my pan. You're going to take your peanut brittle and dump it straight onto a pan and kind of spread it out everywhere and let it cool before you crack it. So what you want to do is literally just take some butter. I usually just take the block, since it's a clean pan. And you're just going to rub it all over. Make sure that you butter your spatula. I know it seems weird, but these things will stick to the peanut brittle, and you just don't really want that. I'm going to take a little paper towel and just make sure that I get into those corners really well. Awesome. And then you could also notice that I have my hot pads ready, because once the peanut brittle is ready, you're like, boom, 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 gotta go. Gotta do my thing. So I hear the sugar water getting hot, it's kind of bubbling, so I'm gonna go over and take. Awesome. So right now, our sugar water is finally come to a boil, a little bit. We'll keep stirring it. We kind of want it to be like a really nice boil before we add our corn syrup, because once we add our corn syrup, we're not going to stir this whatsoever. So I'm gonna take this second to switch out spatulas. Sometimes these tend to melt at really high heats. And this baby will not. So We're not quite there in the boiling department yet. We're just gonna keep stirring. Awesome. So we've kind of reached that boil while stirring. Now we're going to add in our glucose. Well, corn syrup, glucose, same thing. So you're not really supposed to stir it at this point. I'm just going to give it a little stir like that. And now I'm going to leave it alone until it reaches 239 degrees. You have just a little bit to go. So we are hovering around the 238, 239 mark right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the peanuts in. Oh my Lanta. So now we have to mix this until it comes to 311 degrees Fahrenheit. At this point, you're gonna be like, what is wrong? There's something wrong. And I promise it gets easier and it's gonna be okay. So I'll see y'all at 311 degrees. At this point, you want to make sure that you're constantly stirring, even though it's hard, because nobody wants burnt nuts. And it will get easier. You just have to make sure that you're constantly stirring. And if you feel more comfortable, you can 100% turn down the heat. I have this on high heat right now because I want to get her done. But if you're like, no, I would feel more comfortable if it was at a medium temperature, then by all means, go ahead and do it. So we're gonna keep stirring. I'll see what the temperature is right now. Currently at around 223 degrees, and we need this at 311. So we've got a while to go. We have reached our maximum temperature, and right now I'm going to add in that butter and that baking soda. Whew. Give her a good stir. It's going to sizzle. Make sure it's getting completely stirred. Make sure all that butter is melted. Also, I was trying to take an Instagram Reels because I don't know how to work social media. I'm like not good at it. Oh my gosh. Looks amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this next part, just be ultra careful. I'm gonna go ahead and set my spatula right there, and we're going to dump our peanut brittle. Oh my gosh. Looks so good. I always hate that I block you guys when I'm doing this part, but I'm only one person and I can only do so much. Okay, this pan is so hot. Like if the contents of the pan are at 311 degrees, you know, you can only imagine how hot the pan itself is. So, at this point, you're going to want to spread everything out over this pan. I have to hurry because it starts to set pretty fast. Also, I have it in a pan that's going to kind of be like a thicker peanut brittle. Once it cools a little bit, when I was in culinary school, we took it and we stretched it out, but I don't mind like a thicker peanut brittle. I mean, you know, the more the merrier. So I have it decently spread out. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna wait for this to cool down for a second because I cannot wait to try it. I'm so excited. So now we have all of our peanut brittle cooling, and it's gonna take a bit just because of how thick it is. You can most definitely put it in multiple pans and have it a little bit thinner. I'm just one person and I was like pouring really hot liquids into this pan. I already burnt myself. So now I'm gonna wait on this baby. You can tell it's already starting to set a little bit because when you pull it, it's a little crispy. Oh my gosh. That's going to be amazing. So we'll wait for it to cool, and just a reminder, this pan right here is going to be really hot. So if you want to put it on hot pads, please do. And I'll see y'all when it's time to crack this baby. The peanut brittle has cooled off quite a bit, and it is time to crack it. Since it's so thick, I want thinner layers, but I also have to do a taste test, you see. So, I'm gonna crack this, and I'll be back. This is where you can practice your ninja skills. Like, oh my Lanta. And this is the perfect gift to give someone. You just hand it to them and say Merry Christmas. Oh my gosh. Looks so good. Now, of course, I'm going to crack this into smaller pieces, but I just want to show you guys right now how good this is looking and what the layers of like peanuts and deliciousness looks like. So. So everyone, there you